Hello, class. Today, we will start talking about the first topic that we have. I'm just going to introduce you to some concepts that will be used every now and then, and hopefully, it will also clarify some ideas so that we will be on the same page whenever we use these concepts. Okay? So, we have this one, the key concepts. But before that, let me give you also one thing that Socrates said. I hope that you all know who Socrates was. Socrates was at one point in his life was considered as the wisest man on earth. That's according to the Oracle at Delphi. But Socrates is one of the pillars in philosophy. He was the teacher of Plato, and who was also Plato was also the teacher of Aristotle, and then Aristotle was the teacher of Alexander the Great. Anyway, the only thing that you have to know about Socrates for now is that he started a lot of the philosophizing, the way that we are doing right now. Okay, and this man said, a system of morality which is based on relative emotional values is a mere illusion, a thoroughly vulgar conception which has nothing sound in it and nothing true. Now, these are some of the things that we can get from what he said here. He was describing a system of morality here. And how did he describe something, a system of morality that would be abhorrent to him? He doesn't like it. He said, if your system of morality is based on relative emotional values, what does that mean? What he was talking here is if your morality is based on emotions, if what you value is based on your emotions, and that emotion is also relative, meaning to say that it's dependent on the person, there is no objective way of testing if what you think is valuable is good or bad. So for him, that is not good at all. Like, for example, you cannot say that, ay, feeling ko masama ang pumatay. Hindi, ako feeling ko okay lang ang pumatay. So that is how relative emotional values would be for him whenever you are testing what is good or what is bad. And how would he now describe that if that is our basis? He said that then our system of morality will become merely an illusion. Hindi totoo yung system of morality natin kasi nakadepende lang sa atin. So what he was talking about, it should be something that is objective. Yung batayan natin kung ano yung tama at mali should be objective enough in order for us to test, okay, both of you are saying different things, opposite things, therefore the other one is right, the other one is wrong. Because if it was based on relative emotional values, then even if we are contradicting each other, then we will not be able to test it because both will be considered as correct. You see the problem there? You see the problem of Socrates if the system of morality is based on relative emotional values? So, para sa kanya, walang system of morality kung nakabase lang sa emotions natin. In fact, he added on to say that it's a thoroughly vulgar conception which has nothing sound in it and nothing true. So, para sa kanya, it's not just merely an illusion. He gave a negative spin on it by saying it's vulgar. You know, walang maganda. In fact, hindi totoo yung klase ng morality na yan. So we can see here now what kind of standard he was talking about. Anyway, that will be the theme for what we are going to discuss. Okay, so the topics that we will cover, we have the moral standards, moral dilemmas, 3 levels of moral dilemmas, freedom as foundation of ethics. I will divide the discussion into these parts so that it will be easier for us to tackle this topic. But hopefully at the end of the discussion, we will be able to identify the difference between moral and non-moral standards. Of course, for you to recognize, recall, and probably even evaluate your moral experience, detect, identify a moral dilemma, identify the 3 levels of moral dilemmas, and explain why only beings can be ethical. Now, here's one question that we can ask. When do we say that an act is moral or non-moral? Now, just to clarify that, when we talk about non-moral things, that means that we do not need to evaluate it, we do not need to assess it, we do not need to grade it if it is good or bad. An example of that would be, say, a scientific formula, or 1 plus 1 is equals to 2. And then I would ask you, is that good or bad? Is it morally good or bad? Parang hindi naman siya masama, hindi naman siya kasalanan. So if that is the case, then that will be considered as a non-moral issue. Walang moral valuation or there is no moral grading that is being done there. However, that would be very different when we talk about moral. When we talk about moral, we are setting a standard, we are setting an evaluation and say that, yes, what you did is good. Yes, what you did is bad. Example of that would be stealing. Now, in some areas, some people might say stealing is good, but for other people, they would say, no, stealing is bad in all cases. That is a moral act. Okay? So what we will be concerned here is moral. That would be different from immoral. Because when we say immoral, then we mean to say that that act is not good. when we talk about moral and non-moral, we are only saying that for non-moral, morality is not an issue. Okay, so I hope that that is clear. Let me ask you another question here. Is it morally right to end the life of an individual, even by just administering what the patient so wishes? What are your thoughts on it? Now, I'm actually describing here euthanasia. And if you go to the forum, this another question that we have here: is it moral to end the life of a patient with or without his or her consent? Now, how do we answer such a question? We will be able to answer that question if we have a moral standard. A moral standard is a kind of grading system that you have in order for you to determine if the act is good or bad. Now, in some cases, we do not probably think of what is our moral standard. But then when we are confronted with a dilemma, like the two questions that I asked you, then we are forced to recall what is my basis for saying if something is good or bad. Now, that is what we call moral standards. Okay, just like in grading, for example, you know that if you have a grade of 60% and above, then that means that you are passing. If it was 59 and below, then you know that you are failing. So when you are asked what is good, then it's actually just saying what is your 60% and above. Yun yung good mo. And if you are saying that that act is bad, then you are saying that you are having a grade of 59 and below. Okay, so that is your moral standard. That is the test that you are using in order for you to determine if the act is good or bad. Now look at the comic strip here that we have of Calvin and Hobbes. He said that he doesn't believe in ethics anymore, so you have this. And he said that it's the end justifies the means, dog eat dog world. And so he was describing a lot of things. The winners write the history books, and then Hobbes pushed Calvin here. And then when asked, you were in my way, now you're not the end. You're not. The ends justify the means. So here, he now retracts his end. Pero makikita natin, in the first few boxes, is that what you call here, the boxes here, the Calvin was saying that his moral standard was the end justifies the means. So what is your moral standard? No, yun nga lang, no, nakita niya that it's not feasible, binawi naman niya. So we have to test also our moral standard. Is it applicable in all cases? Can we stay with it? Kasi hindi natin pa pwedeng sabihin na, sa ngayon, ang moral standard ko ay yung happiness ng iba. Tapos pag na-test na yung happiness natin, ay hindi pala, yung happiness ko pala ang moral standard ko. Or maganda bang batayan ang happiness? Remember, that's still an emotion. And so probably we'll say, no, it has to be my duty, and so on and so forth. Magkakaiba, no, yung moral standards natin. But one thing is for sure, that whenever we make moral decisions, we ask ourselves, what standards are we supposed to follow? And it's very important for us to know what standards we follow so that we will be consistent with our behavior. Now, who made these standards? Will following the standards make us all ethically moral? The rightness or wrongness of an act makes us willingly or unwillingly confront the morality of our decision. So we have to analyze carefully not only the motive of our actions, but to be certain that our actions are indeed keeping up with the ethical values that we have. And the value that we give to moral standards, which serve as our guide to the rightness of our behavior, is at the forefront of our discussion now. We are tied to some sets of moral standards that we bring with us whenever we make moral decisions. What do we bring with us? We bring with us the experience that we have of the past. We bring with us our culture, what our parents taught us, our religion. In some cases, some people would say that their moral standards would be following the Bible. So anything that is not in keeping with the Bible, that will be bad. But everything that follows what the Bible says, then that would be good. So that's another example of a moral standard. So the question of what is morally right and wrong has been with men throughout history, and we allowed ourselves to be judged by standards that we have imposed upon ourselves. In our attempt to perfect our actions and live in peace with our fellows and with nature, we deemed it necessary to create ethical standards that everybody will follow, or at least everybody is expected to follow, whether our actions are good and of the greatest virtue, or probably we might be missing the mark and that we are actually not being good. Okay, so that ends the first part of our discussion of moral standards. I hope that you have a clear idea now of what I am talking about here. We will go to the next one later on. Okay, so thank